X-Men Apocalypse, I won't really try to do much of a plot synopsis, partly because I don't fully understand the film, but partly because it's kind of quite complicated. But in X-Men Days of Future Past, consciousness sent back to the 1970s to rewrite the past in order to save the present, from the future. So this now goes further back at the beginning to ancient Egypt, where we see a sort of proto-uber mutant being about to have a transference, which is then interrupted.
Hang on. A proto-uber movement mutant who's going to have a transference.
Who's going to be... No, I can't explain it better than that. I tell you what, why don't you hear a bit of Basil exposition?
Okay.
Ever since the world found out about mutants in '73, there have been cults who see them as some kind of second coming or sign of God. I was tracking one of them. They call themselves a Shir En Sabanur, named after an ancient being they believe to be the world's first.
World's first what?
The world's first mutant. These describe a specific set of powers, greater than any man could possess.
An all-powerful mutant.
Exactly. And wherever this being was, he always had 4 principal followers, disciples, protectors he would imbue with powers.
Like the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. You got that one from the Bible.
Or the Bible got it from him.
Oh, I can see what they did there.
You got it?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So basically, the beginning is sort of very, very Stargatey, and then we move forward to 1983, where Oscar Isaac's Apocalypse, Reborn, Uber Mutant.
What?
Yes, I'm just explaining. Believe me, I'm not. Okay, 1983.
Shall I not ask any questions?
Yeah, 1983, the Stargate transformation thing that was happening at the beginning finishes being happening. He comes out, he's going to sort of wreak terrible havoc, and various X-Men are in various places. So Raven is in East Berlin, and Eric Magneto is in Poland, and the Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters is still taking new recruits, and along comes, the apocalypse, and everyone on either side will have to take something. Fine. Now, here's the thing with this. There have been the reviews for this film have been very. There have been some people who've said this is the worst film ever made with the X-Men name on it, and I didn't find that to be the case. I mean, I kind of enjoyed it up to a point. It is like Captain America: Civil War, which is infinitely superior. It suffers from an overabundance of colourful characters, none of whom actually managed to have, because there's so many of them, and even though the film is overlong, it just feels like everybody's struggling for screen time. What I did like was that it kind of visually riffs on, Teen Wolf and Breakfast Club and Terminator and Michael Jackson's Thriller and all those kind of nature. And there's one bit in which the central bad guy complains about the human race having become decadent and worshipping false gods, and he discovers this from watching television. Somebody says, yeah, welcome to the 80s. There's also a joke in it which has been cited by time and time again, which is that the kids come out of Return of the Jedi and they go, well, that was rubbish, wasn't it? Well, the third one's always rubbish. Yeah, but the second one was darker. But the first one set it all up. But I think we can all agree that the third one is always the worst. And the whole thing is, okay, how do you take that as being a joke about the third X-Men movie, or do you take it as a joke about being the third prequel, because this is a sequel but still technically a prequel, and it's kind of in and meta, and one of two things happens. You either laugh at it and go, oh, that's quite funny because it's poking at the edges of things, or you go, I'm sorry, that's really annoying. And a lot of people have cited that gag as the point at which they lost patience with the film. My general feeling about it is that you get James McAvoy and Michael Fassbender doing that peculiar sort of clipped diction thing that they've been doing, which we're also now used to, which is kind of fine. There is an utter weightlessness to the increasing level of destruction, which, I mean, if you thought that some of the collateral damage of previous films like Men of Steel was a little bit troublesome, I mean, believe me, this is in a whole other level of weightless gargantuanism. And quite often I found myself thinking, I'm not really sure that I'm following the threads of this because I don't care enough, because I'm not actually sort of, I'm not, why? Why are you looking at me like that?
I'm about to introduce Kevin Hales into the conversation, but only at an appropriate moment.
But that said, I kind of enjoyed it in a great, like popcorn. It's like eating popcorn. It makes an awful lot of noise, but there is no substance there afterwards. Now, if you are a devotee of the X-Men series, and if what you want is something which really develops the thing and does something interesting, this isn't it. This absolutely isn't it. It is, in my opinion, more fun than Batman versus Superman. It is nowhere near Captain America's Civil War. But I absolutely didn't take again. I thought it was kind of, passingly fun popcorn. But people, I think, want more than that from an X-Men film.